All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Village of Monee's Planning and Zoning meeting of August 17th, 2022. Let's rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, please. Bettenhausen? Here. Brophy? Here. Culp? Here. Linner? Lindstrom?
Here.
Trevino?
Here.
West?
Here.
All right, I need a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting of July 20th, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please. Brophy?
Yes.
Culp?
Yes.
Lindstrom?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Bettenhausen? Yes. All right, open to the public. Any non-agenda items? Anyone like to speak? All right, I need a motion to open the public meeting for Molex LLC special use application for the property located at 5700 Triton Way.
I move the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please. Cole?
Yes.
Lindstrom?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Bettenhausen? Yes. Brophy?
Yes.
All right, would the representative from Molex like to come up and present your case for your special use application?
Good evening. My name's Tim Shee. I'm the operations manager over at Molex. I have Dave and Josh are my co-workers over here, facilities, the H&S. So we're looking for the special permit for a liquid oxygen tank that will supply oxygen to our laser cutting system. So we've installed a fiber laser cutting system that requires oxygen to cut the copper that we make. So we fabricate copper bus bars, aluminum bus bars for the global market. And it requires this oxygen tank to be able to be supplied as an assist gas when we're laser cutting copper.
All right, does anybody have any questions?
Questions? Yeah. What side of the building are you going to put it on?
So it'll be on the east side of the building, right next to our dock doors.
And this is going to be in conjunction with all regulations as far
Yeah.
as, okay.
Yep.
You're going to service it from the east, right? Your dock is on the north side of the building, right?
No. Well, we have our shipping and receiving docks on the north side. Our shipping docks are on the north side. The receiving docks are on the east side of the building.
Oh,
They
receiving
face
docks.
east. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's in the northeast corner.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, so the system will be, it'll be on brand-new concrete pads. It'll have 20-foot steel walls on the sides. The building wall will cover the other side. It'll have a chain link fence with barbed wire across the front. It's all telemetry, so as the levels go down, the supply company's notified. They come in any hour of the day or night. They come in, fill it back up for us, and off they go. So we anticipate it being filled once a month, twice a month.
You have a clean-looking property, too.
Oh, thank you.
It is, yes.
Appreciate that.
What's the approximate volume of the tank?
The tank is 1,500 liters of
Okay.
liquid oxygen.
That's not as big as I thought, but
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
Any other? Were you still asking a question? Oh, okay. All right, does anyone from the public have anything to say about their application? All right, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
This is to
All right, roll call, please.
To close.
Right, this was the close, yeah, then, this was the close, and then we'll do.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
this is
sorry.
for the
Okay.
close. So,
I'll make a motion to close.
close the meeting.
Second.
Second, okay. Roll call, please. Lindstrom,
Yes.
Trevino,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Bettenhausen, yes. Brophy,
Yes.
Culp.
Yes.
All right, and now can I get a
Now we'll make a
favorable?
motion to approve.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call. Trevino,
I'm sorry.
Trevino,
The question
To
was?
approve, a
Roll call
favorable?
for,
Approve. Yes,
approve.
yes, yes,
Awesome.
definitely, yes.
West? Yes. Bettenhausen?
yes.
Brophy?
Yes.
Culp?
Yes.
Lindstrom?
Yes.
All right, thank you. We'll pass the recommendation on to the board. Their next meeting is next Wednesday at 6:30. And we recommend that you attend just in
Yeah.
case they have any questions for you as well.
Thank you for your
All
time
right.
today.
Thank you. All right, now I need a motion to open the public meeting for Iroquois Paving zoning and map amendment application for the property located at 6053 Industrial Drive.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call, please.
West? Yes. Bettenhausen?
Yes.
Brophy?
Yes.
Culp?
Yes.
Lindstrom?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
All right, would the representative from Iroquois like to come up and present your case?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ken Carlson with Tracy Law Firm in Joliet on behalf of Iroquois. Joe Cohen.
It's right here. Some of us are hard of hearing.
Okay.
It's called old age.
Yeah. Ken Carlson on behalf of Iroquois Paving. Joe Cowan, the president of Iroquois Paving, is also here tonight.
I'd just like to start off, for those of you who don't know our company, kind of give you a little background. We've been in business for over 80 years. We're a heavy highway construction contractor with hot mix plants. We've got one in Monee and then one down south in Gilman, Illinois. We employ about 200 union workers. We've have been in this location in Monee for over 18 years here now. We've worked on many projects in the Monee area, donated to many community events, projects, and worked closely with the city and the Public Works Department. Our Monee plant has, in the hot mix industry, they award certain awards to plants that exceed environmental safety and excellence, and we've got a Diamond Achievement Award there in our Monee plant there too. And I'll let Ken.
Just, I guess, to familiarize everybody, there's actually 3 parcels that are the subject to the application. I think it totals about 70 acres in total. The property is currently zoned M1 to the west, and it's vacant currently. To the east, the property is zoned M2. To the north, it's zoned M1, and I think the village has a parcel that's zoned PL, or whatever your village designation is for public.
And that's your Public Works building right now there.
The western boundary of the property is 57. You jump across 57, there's county zoning over there, and then I think to the southwest, there's some estate residential zoning, and then the zoning to the south of the property is county zoning, I believe, that's in the ag zoning district. What's being asked is to amend for a map amendment or a rezoning of the property to your M2 district to allow Iroquois Paving to recycle concrete and asphalt materials on that property for use in connection with their business down the street. That it would basically move some of that activity from their current location to this location because apparently the current existing location, as they've grown, is becoming tight. The intent would be to operate during normal business hours. They intend to, wherever the activity area is, they're going to create a berm. They'll submit whatever plans are necessary to do their excavation, and then they're going to create a berm around the area in which the recycling activities are conducted. The question would be, okay, what does this create for? We don't believe it's going to create any additional truck congestion. Effectively, what's going to happen is trucks that would have gone to their current facility will end up going to this facility. So to the extent there's any additional truck traffic created, it would be simply to move the recycled materials back to their current facility. And we don't believe that'll have any negative material impact on property at all. The property is going to be operated in accordance with all the state regulations with respect to the crushers that will be out there. So we don't believe there will be any detrimental impact on the general public or within that vicinity, particularly given the proposal would include berming the area. And I think, talking to Joe, it's going to be consistent with, the berming and landscaping that they've done at their other facility. And I think when that industrial drive gets improved, it'll be a nice entrance to that property, as well as being gated to prevent people from taking a free drive in there. And we don't believe this use, particularly being bermed and conducted in accordance with your ordinances and the ordinance of the state, will have any detrimental impact upon valuation for neighboring properties, or to the extent that there are residences in that vicinity, which would be to the south primarily, or across 57, it will not have any negative impact on that.
So the operation you're talking about doing is basically you're going to be doing the same thing you're doing at the present operation. I mean, nothing new is going to be happening there. It's the same products, the same deal that you're working on in the corner lot.
Correct. As everybody knows, our industry is going more green, and the clean construction debris coming off the projects.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago or 20 years ago, they dig a hole or
Put it in fill, right?
push it off. You can't do that. The tollway won't let you do those operations anymore. And so what we're doing is we'll bring in clean construction debris, crush it, resell it, or use it back into our product, the hot mix. It'll be a great resource for the villages, the townships.
Well, you guys have been a class act all along anyway, so.
I appreciate that. If anybody's familiar with our hot mix facility, we've planted over 100 trees there.
Yes. I noticed it.
We keep it mowed, we keep it clean.
That was the first thing I looked at.
Yep. And, we're regulated by OSHA and IEPA, EPA. We have all the permits, and we've already spent $100,000 on the site removing those buildings, and then the trees and
Nice.
the brush and everything.
Nice.
So we've already made an investment in there, and we'll continue.
Nice.
How tall will the piles be? Will you have stackers for the piles? Will you have a hammer mill to take your recycled material down? A crusher, hammer mill, crusher.
We'll have conveyors that will probably stack the material 25 feet to 30 feet, but that would be it. The first couple years we're going to use it, we're going to strip the site and build berms with it, and then the material we have coming in, we're going to put that down as base. So we probably won't even have stockpiles there, besides what the product that we're bringing in to process there. But most of what we're going to crush is going to go down, for the base of the, for the property. Mm-hmm. The one thing I just want to, there's 3 parcels there. We only bought the one parcel. Mm-hmm. The one right next, it's 10 plus acres. It's the one right that borders up to 57.
So that would be west of you then?
Yes.
Yeah,
It'd
be west of that, the very end of it, okay.
And borders up to 57.
Right, okay.
And the other unique thing about that property, it has a gas line that goes through that, which a lot of those properties do, that restricts any type of building on that property.
Right, okay.
So it's you're limited on what you could even do on that property going forward because of the gas line right there.
Plant
You
some
couldn't
trees.
build over that.
Plant some trees.
Exactly.
What aggregate are you going to be crushing? Is it predominantly concrete, or is it asphalt? Or is it going to be both?
It would be both.
Volume-wise, more of one, less of the other,
More of the
equal
hot
amount?
mix, more of the
Asphalt?
the asphalt coming off of the roads.
In
which-
other words, what you've planed off.
Exactly.
Okay, so it really doesn't get crushed? If it's been planed off of a road or what
The-
have you?
Yeah, that doesn't, but there's times when a road is not milled and it's pulled
It's
up in bigger pieces.
in chunks, yes,
Yeah,
I get
just
that.
like curb and gutter or sidewalks.
And you will be crushing that, or whatever you do, similar to concrete?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the concern I have is the petroleum chemicals that could leach into the ground that sit out there from the asphalt?
Yeah, there's no contaminated, that would not happen.
I drink the water from the ground here, that's why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But the full site will be burned, and then there'll be base down there.
A cap of some kind?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I can answer that question. It's called RAP, right? That's
It
correct.
is.
Okay, so what happens from abstracts that you read, reclaimed asphalt pavement does not leach into the ground.
It doesn't.
It could be used as construction fill, okay?
Yeah, it's not
According to our
the,
University of Florida study.
right, it's not the, it's not what's been planed off, it's the big chunks, is what I'm talking about. Those large pieces that still have, the
Yes.
emulsifier in it and what have you.
In the state that we have it, it would not leach into the soil. And the RAP is recycled asphalt pavement.
Okay, along with that, now there have been studies where people have been trying to get rid of pet coke by using it in asphalt paving. You have no intention of storing pet coke or any of that type of either green or, okay.
No.
At no point in time will you be stockpiling pet coke on this facility?
No, at no time.
And the equipment that you use for this, you already have at your plant location, you're just gonna be relocating it?
We do. We've got 3 or 4 of those sites, and we work in about 8 counties, and we've got 3 more locations down south that we have. So we wouldn't be processing material every day. It wouldn't be a site that we'd be there crushing every day. It might be, a couple times in a week, and we might leave it for a month or 2. But, we move those, they're mobile crushers,
Okay,
and we move them around. And the crushers are all modern crushers. They've got water systems on them.
Kill the dust and
So there's no dust, and they're up to date and, OSHA approved. And
okay. Is that all of our questions? Did you have any questions? Okay, I was, okay. All right, does anyone from the public? Okay, you can come up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Matthew Grusecki. I'm Senior Vice President of Northern Builders. This is Tom Kenrick.
I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Northern Builders.
Northern Builders has been a partner with Monee now for 22 years. Northern has been in business for 95 years. Recently, we received a notice of the proposed zoning revision, and I submitted a letter in opposition of this change. So for the benefit of the public, I'd like to read that letter and answer any questions that you may have. So we're in receipt of the notice letter dated August 1 from Anthony Bruosas and Associates regarding a proposed zoning change from M1 to M2 on a 10-acre land parcel located immediately next door to Northern Builders' master planned Class A business park development named Monee Business Center. The letter we received states that the proposed zoning change would allow the applicant to perform aggregate recycling and stockpiling as shared this evening. As owner and developer of Monee Business Center, we opposed this proposed zoning change for the following reasons. Number one, this use would be unsightly and to the detriment of a professional business park environment. Such recycling stockpiles can be 30 to 40 feet tall, which is as tall as our buildings, just to put it in perspective, making them impossible to visually screen from the neighboring business park development or from I-57 for that matter. Number two, the proposed use can be dirty and dusty. Even with a dust mitigation program, it is impossible to ensure that dust is not leaving the property each time a truckload of materials is dumped or throughout the process of pulverizing, crushing, and grinding these materials. Such dust may cause damage to our rooftop mechanical equipment, make buildings and glass curtain walls dirty, and or settle on tenants' vehicles. Number three, the proposed use would create significant noise pollution. In a phone call with John Lynch of Iroquois Paving, John stated that they would receive materials from 3 major roadway projects and that there would be a consistent ongoing loop of dump trucks traveling to and from the property to dump these materials. John said that this traffic would continue at least 6 days a week and that there was no known end date to this project. Also, since they've purchased the property, we may reasonably assume that there would also be other new projects in the future. And with every single truckload, we may logically expect the following: noise from the continuous truck traffic and backup beepers while maneuvering on site, the rumbling and scraping sound of dumping large chunks of concrete and asphalt, the bang of every truck's tailgate swinging into the rear of the truck while dumping its load, the jarring sound of crushing and pulverizing concrete, including jackhammers removing rebar, the sound of asphalt grinding equipment, and all of these activities would occur outdoors, immediately next to our business park development. This noise would continue indefinitely all day for at least 6 days a week. The proposed use would also bring significant and constant daily truck traffic to the area, causing extraordinary wear to Industrial Drive, which Northern Builders is planning to improve as part of our development agreement with the Village of Monee. In addition, it could cause impact to other Monee roadways between the site and the highway interchange. As you may know, Northern Builders in the Village spent 10 months preparing a development agreement that supports a Class A business park image and environment. Our agreement ensures low-impact uses and advocates for occupied buildings, job creation, and a development that the community will be proud of. This has been a true partnership between Northern Builders and the Village of Monee. With this shared vision, Northern purchased 150 acres of land, and we plan to invest $70 to $80 million in a 3 to 4 Class A business park development. The proposed zoning and use greatly contradicts the Village's and Northern's vision and strategic plan. Our vision did not contemplate unsightly outside storage or hard industrial processes, dirty and dusty uses, noise pollution, constant truck traffic, considerable impact to roadways, or any impediments to attracting new businesses to our park in Monee. The proposed zoning change and use would also cause unnecessary and immeasurable financial hardship to Monee Business Center, as such an environment would turn away new tenants and users. Our brokerage team at Cushman & Wakefield indicates that food-grade facilities will not consider any location with the risk of dust infiltration. Further, we are speaking with a prospective cold storage user who will not risk damaging a $20 million specialty rooftop mechanical system for their building. Another prospect, Vortman Steel, we are talking with them about an international consolidation of their corporate offices, sales, and equipment showroom with a glass curtain wall. They will not choose a location that overlooks material stockpiles, nor will they tolerate dust on their showroom glass curtain wall or their vehicles. While we always look for ways to solve problems and work together, these issues come with the proposed use. These issues cannot be reasonably mitigated or guaranteed not to impact our development. Further, after working with the Village of Monee to ensure a first-class business park environment that is meant to attract top companies and talent to the area, Northern remains confident that the village would not choose to allow such a use at this location. Given the gravity of a $70 to $80 million investment in Monee Business Center, Northern must put its business park development on hold until this matter is resolved. In the interim, we very much appreciate your support and consideration as we honor the spirit of our development agreement and our shared vision for this area. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
You see no reasonable mitigation for this business?
I think there's no guarantee that dust will not leave that site and end up in mechanical systems and our...
Have you guys had any issues with the existing plant already?
We haven't developed any buildings yet.
Okay. Because I haven't heard anybody complain in the area about, because they're basically, they can be doing the same thing that they're doing now, just moving it down the road a little bit.
Right. But in this case, we already purchased 150 acres of land.
Yeah, I understand all of that.
And what's being proposed would actually sandwich us between two recycling plants.
So that would be a deal breaker.
Huge deal breaker. Without any guarantee that's not going to impact our development, I don't see any way we could continue. And to that end, we've already invested $2.4 million, between our land acquisition and engineering studies on the site, and we have precast ordered for our first building.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Does anybody else from the public? Okay.
Good evening. I'm Greg Larson. I own the building at 6050 Industrial Drive, directly across the street from where this facility is going to be used. I vehemently oppose this project. I vehemently oppose the M2 zoning proposal. The reason why, when we located to Monee, we did so under the M1 zoning because it was a perfect fit for all of my renters, and it was a perfect fit for the community. Right now, there is a mountain of concrete across the street from my building. I visited a concrete crushing facility in Markham. It's a disaster. The road is ruined on coming into their facility. I almost was wishing I had an N15 mask, N95 mask when I was at that facility. There was so much dust. The business across the street, Sanchez Paving, is loaded with dust. The road is loaded with dust. As a matter of fact, I've taken some pictures, if I may hand them around. While I was there was a steady parade of vehicles, of trucks, 18-wheelers coming in and going out. The noise was deafening. There was dust everywhere. One of my pictures depicts some mailboxes that are loaded with dust, and that was right after we'd had a rain a few days prior to that. The dust is unbelievable. I don't believe for a moment that Iroquois is going to be able to contain their dust any better than Wright's operation over there. There was a parade of the 18-wheelers coming and going. I'm no engineer, but I have a very strong feeling as a general contractor that Industrial Drive or Cleveland Avenue is designed to carry the weight of these massive 18-wheelers that will be loaded with concrete. And I'd like to come back to you, Mr. Lindstrom. You keep saying to these guys, they're not going to be doing anything that they're not doing presently. To the best of my knowledge, they're not crushing concrete, and I've not seen a mountain of uncrushed concrete there either. I drive by there every day.
I was there yesterday, I seen it, yeah.
They are crushing concrete?
No, I didn't see it, I saw the mound you're talking about, right?
Yes. I have tenants, we all have vehicles. They're going to be covered with dust. Your building, the Public Works building, is going to be covered in dust. Any vehicles you have out there will be covered in dust. Any rooftop units you have for air conditioning will be plugged solid. The creek that runs underneath Industrial Drive will have concrete dust in it. The farmer's field next to that will be rendered useless, if you ask me, because once the concrete dust gets all over their crops and down into the soil, that will become useless. Iroquois talks about EPA permits. Thus far, they have violated one of the basic requirements of the Environmental Protection Agency. As a general contractor, if we go out and do any construction whatsoever, it seems if we even put a fence post in the ground, we have to install a silt fence. If anyone doesn't know what a silt fence is, I'll explain what it is. But it's that black fence that goes around every construction site. These guys have come in, performed demolition, moving all kinds of earth around, scraping down to the desired elevation they want, bringing in truckloads of grindings, spreading them out. They have 3 machines over there. I have never seen a silt fence yet. If I did that, I would be fined to the hilt. I urge all of you to go by and look at the mountain of concrete that is across the street from my building on their property. I also urge you to take a ride over to Markham and take a first-hand look at that concrete crushing facility. I think it'll be a disaster for Monee, especially in light of Northern Builders' proposed park. Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question for him.
Yes.
I'm looking at your pictures and I hear what you're saying. If you feel this is such a problem and the complaints and so forth, why do we think there are not more people here today in opposition?
I don't think they knew. I called the veterinarian people down the street. They didn't know anything about it.
Okay.
And I may be wrong, but I think everybody that owns those large buildings right next to your Public Works facility, I'd be surprised if they know about it. This is going to be an absolute disaster. The road going into this facility in Markham is already disastrous.
Should we have the address in Markham?
No, but I can get that for the board.
Yeah, if you could.
It's quite easy to find. It's 167th place.
By the courthouse, right in that area.
No,
Not
it's,
next to the courthouse, but it's down.
no.
No?
It's at 167th place, 1 block off of Crawford. You'll hear it if you get close.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Right. Did you guys want to come back up and address any of that?
I guess I would tell you, I think you can save the gas and not drive to Markham because you have your example here. I mean, you've had a citizen of this village operating at that location, doing that same work, and you haven't had any problems. Has anybody ever complained about their operations? You drive by, you can see it. That's your example. And this owner's committed that it will be done in that same character at this location. So, you know, are there recycled material operations throughout the state of Illinois that ought to be shut down because they're obnoxious, they're noisy, they're dusty? Yeah, probably. But I think you look at the example you have in your own village by the guy who wants to do it on this property, and that should answer the question. They do it right, and they do it in a way where it's not going to impact the public in a negative way.
One last thing, in the road conditioning, it's been brought up by both of those gentlemen. The plan, the city has a plan, Monee has a plan to rebuild that whole road here in the next year. And it's going to be my understanding by talking to the engineers that the landowners that are bordered up to that all have to participate in some of that, the cost to rebuild that road. So it's not going to be up to one corporation or one company to rebuild that whole road. It's going to be adjacent people, property owners in front that have to participate in that rebuilding. And that's going to be done in the next year. The whole road, Industrial Drive going through back in front of the boxes, the warehousing there, that's all going to be improved and be a truck route. So those roads are going to get more truck traffic anyway, but that's a project that Monee has been working on and is going to be out to bid here in 6-8 months there. So,
I mean, I think the final thing I would suggest is that, you know, the property to the east is zoned M2. This use is a permitted use in M2, and therefore, under the law, it's a compatible use with the M2 zoning. So the fact that the proposed zoning request would be for M2 is compatible with the zoning that's already in place for the neighboring property.
and it is an industrial park. You know, that's your designation, how you know, Monee zoned it, industrial park. So that's consistent for what we're proposing here.
Can I ask you, how many trucks do you estimate on a daily basis? 5, 50, 100? What do you think?
From December to April, probably near less than 10 trucks a day, you know, because we're seasonal. So we would not have that truck traffic there, you know, in the winter or
How about during the season?
during the season at all.
Rough guess.
A lot.
200? I mean, what is a lot? 200?
Our plant there, probably 100, 150 loads, you know, come in and out of that property. It just does.
How much do you have coming out of there now on a daily basis? Out of the existing?
I say right now,
Yes.
because we're working day and night
Right.
out of our hot mix facility. We've probably got 150 trucks coming.
So you have the same, it would be
Yeah.
the same amount of traffic, basically?
Yeah. We're not going to increase our truck traffic will not increase at all going down to what it is right now, because we're bringing in recycle right now. We're bringing in, you know, concrete, and we do crush concrete there. It's in the very back there, but we've got a big pile of PGE there, but primarily it's hot mix.
And you plan on putting that burn there and landscaping it, putting trees there?
Just like
The
what we did
landscaping's
there,
got to be
yeah.
a big issue with me. I mean, because, I
does.
mean, that's,
And our berms will be higher than 6 feet. You know, I know if you.
because I think that's going to be a concern for anybody else showing up to begin with. Nobody wants to look at that.
No,
If you guys can hide that, I mean, look at what Ozina did off of 50. I mean, you don't even know that quarry's there,
No,
most of it.
exactly.
You know, I mean, something like
Exactly.
that I'm talking.
exactly.
You can't hide that. That would be, from your point of view, sir, you can't hide that, is basically what you're saying. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct.
That is correct. You're saying that cannot, this operation cannot be hidden from the projects that you envision.
Yes, if you'd like me to reapproach again, I
Right.
can speak to that, as well as some other responses to some things that we've heard this evening. Thank you. We're a business park developer, and wherever we go, we are working to provide a reasonable amount of screening of truck courts and to be just a good neighbor to the community around us. So when it comes to screening and berming, we are the experts. We're building a business park in Bolingbrook right now, right up against their golf course. So you can only imagine what that berm looks like. It's 100 feet wide, it's 15 feet tall, and there's 18, there's 8-foot trees on top of it. That's just to a safeguard for screening truck courts. If you have a 30-foot or a 40-foot stockpile of material, you cannot berm that. What is a 6-foot berm and a 6-foot tree going to do? Absolutely nothing. These stockpiles will be as tall as our buildings. That's the berming conversation. When it comes to the roads, the gentleman that spoke is correct. The landowners there will be paying to improve Industrial Drive. We are the largest owner of that section to be improved. We bought the Arquilla property, and we bought the bulk of the Wilkins property. So that's the property that has 3 parcels. Iroquois bought one of those parcels. We bought the other 2. It should also be noted that when Iroquois was speaking, that a comment was made that the bulk of those remaining parcels were undevelopable because of those pipelines. We just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars engineering this and figuring out transitional grading so that we can construct a 225,000 square foot building on those 2 remaining parcels that were said to be useless. That's why we bought it. That was a separate transaction from the Arquillas.
And one more question?
Yes.
Once again, this is going to be a deal killer for you, if you're saying that.
100%. I cannot pursue food grade users, and I cannot pursue cold storage. And given the economic environment, we have to stay well diversified and not just build distribution centers. We're seeing a ton of cold storage requirements. Those are very, very expensive buildings, and any community would love to have something like that. I can't make those promises to a prospective user because Iroquois Paving made a promise to Monee and a promise to Northern Builders. Well, what if that promise isn't kept? We'd be in a really tough position. They just won't come, is the bottom line. So that's what makes this difficult for all of us. We're not here to oppose because we're tough customers. We're here because we have millions of dollars invested in this already. And candidly, after spending almost an entire year, and Attorney Kraszewski can attest to this, almost an entire year working with the village board on a development plan that was low impact for this area. Even in the 11th hour, a comment came from a board member even suggesting painting a mural on one of our industrial buildings, right? That's how dialed in they are to this area and the beautification, what they want to see. And so I don't know how we went from that to an asphalt and concrete recycling plant. It makes no sense to us whatsoever. And candidly, after spending a year talking about this, we've been reliant on the zoning that was put in place, which is the M1 zoning. Before that 10-acre parcel was sold to Iroquois, Don Wilkins was going to build a cold store. I was going to build a cold storage facility for him on that land. Their plans changed. They pulled the plug on it, and then they sold it off for $400,000. Okay? That was after we bought 150 acres and invested millions. So we're not going to throw good money after bad here. It's just, it would be poor planning, it would be short-sighted, and if that use and zoning was approved, there will be no end to it. It will be 2 permanent recycling plants. So it's not a good fit for us, and I really, after spending that time with the board, I cannot imagine it'd be a good fit for them either, based on everything that we worked so hard on over the past year. I have one last distinction, important point to make. The gentleman from Iroquois referred to this as an industrial park. This is a business park. Big difference. This is not a hard M2 zoning industrial park. This is a professional business park, and those are the clients and users that we're talking with. Vortman Steel is in town. We were introduced to them by Monee. When I pulled up and I saw the white Mercedes 550 parked in the first parking lot and met the president of Vortman Steel, who told me he's into car racing. Do you think that gentleman is going to choose a location and come out to dust covering his car every day? It's an impossible sell. So I wish it could work, but I don't see any reasonable compromise or resolution here.
All right, does anybody have any additional questions or? All right,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate your time.
Of course.
Does anybody else from the public have any comments? All right. All right, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Roll call, please. Bettenhausen? Yes. Brophy?
Yes.
Colt?
Yes.
Lindstrom?
Yes.
Trevino? West?
Yes.
Normally here, I ask for a favorable or unfavorable recommendation, but I also want to throw out there that we could table this if we want to do further research and, yeah,
I think that'd be a smart thing to do.
okay. Would someone like to make that motion?
I'll motion that.
I'll second it.
Okay. Roll call, please. Brophy?
Yes.
Culp?
Yes.
Lindstrom?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Bettenhausen? Yes. All right. I'm not used to how we do that then, so we're gonna take some time to discuss this, and we will put it on the agenda for our next meeting, which will be September 7th. Sorry, let us check real quick.
21st. Let's see. Hang on, I think it's.
The 21st of September, yeah, at 6:30. All right, thank you. Thank
And
you.
I would invite any of you that would want to come to our facility and take a look at, what we have there.
Okay.
And then you can see for yourself what dust there would be, or the noise, or anything like that. You're invited. Just please get a hold of me, contact me, and I take you on a tour and show you everything, and as it's working, and how we do business there. So,
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Put on my
Thank
greens.
you.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
All right. So do we have any old business?
That's a tough one.
No old business? All right. Any new business? I don't think we had any new business either, right? All right, so I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, roll call, please. Culp? Yes. Lindstrom?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Bettenhausen? Yes. Brophy?
Yes.